Hello everyone, myself Professor Bhushan Arke. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the topic from mammalian histology in which the histological structure of esophagus. Okay, we know esophagus is the part of alimentary canal which starts from mouth and end to the anus. This alimentary canal is nothing but a tubular organ which is part of digestive system in which food material travels and it is processed for the digestion, right? We know the digestion is the series of complex process in which indivisible, insoluble and complex food material is converted to the simple, diffusible and soluble form. This entire process takes place inside the alimentary canal. This alimentary canal having a tubular organ which starts from esophagus region. Okay, in today's lecture we are going to discuss the histological structure of esophagus. We know the tubular organ is always studied in the transverse section for histology because all the structures, that layers which comes under that structure are easily seen or understood properly in transverse section. Now let's continue with our topic. The esophagus. Esophagus start to just next to the buccal cavity. Okay, and this esophagus starts from the larynx region and it is somewhat 25 centimeter long and fibromuscular tube. Why it is called fibromuscular tube? Because if you look at the structure, there are large number of smooth muscles as well as their types are present, okay, which make the structure of esophagus. Now if you look at the position of esophagus, it is just situated below the larynx region, right? From our neck region, it is continuing up to the diaphragm, okay, the chest bone. Now here, this esophagus just serves the function of passage the food material which is coming from mouth to the neck structure, that is stomach. We know in mouth the process of mastication takes place with the help of teeth. We break down the food material and that small particulous form of food material is now passed to the neck structure, to that tubular organ. This is nothing but the esophagus. Let's continue with the histological structure. In any part of alimentary canal, the histological structure consists of four basic layers. That is mucosa, which is the first or innermost layer. Then second one is submucosa, which is followed by mucosa, below which there is a layer of muscle. Smooth muscle is nothing but muscularis externa or simply called muscularis, and at last there is either adventitia or serosa, which is nothing but the outer covering of that alimentary canal. Now in histological structure of esophagus, let's start with the first part, that is mucosa. Mucosa, why the name is given? Because the layer consists of mucus secreting cell, and we know the inner surface of alimentary canal consists of continuous mucus secretion in order to prevent the friction of food particles with lining of alimentary canal to avoid the injury. Now look at the structure of mucosa. In mucosa, there are basically three structures are present. That is, first one is epithelial lining. We know the epithelial is nothing but the covering, outermost covering of any organ, which serves function of protection. Here, we are able to see in histological structure the epithelium consists of stratified epithelium. Stratified means the cells are arranged in number of layers, strata. Therefore, the mucosa of esophagus consists of stratified epithelial lining, right? Stratified epithelial surface. Why here layers of cells are present? Because this tubular organ when passes food material to the next organ, at that time the friction of food material takes place, and this food material is not processed yet, because not any enzyme or any digestive juice is mixed with that food material, therefore having some sort of raw kind of nature, and it can cause damage to the inner structure. Therefore epithelial lining consists of stratified cells, or the cells which are arranged in strata. Basically the squamous type of cells are present, which are somewhat cuboidal cell shaped with central nucleus. These all cells are present on basement membrane. Basement membrane is nothing but a single layer of cell on which rest of the cells are arranged in strata or either in single layer. Now below the epithelium, the next structure of mucosa comes, that is lamina propria. This lamina propria is nothing but the connective tissue part of mucosa. In diagram, we are able to see the structures which are located in lamina propria are nothing but the blood vessels, cardiac glands, right? And this part is covered by the connective tissue, that is matrix and other cellular substances. Here, the role of mucosa is provided to support to the structures which are situated above that basement membrane. We know this epithelium is based on basement membrane, and this basement membrane lies the outer lining of lamina propria or connective tissue. This lamina propria consists of structure like blood vessel and glands. What is the role of these structures here? This blood vessel provides nutrition to the structure situated in this lamina propria region, and blood vessel provides the capillary network or the plexus which is spread over through this region. These glands are called cardiac glands because if you look at the position of esophagus, it is near to the heart. Therefore, the name is given as cardiac glands. This cardiac glands release somewhat sticky substance like mucus, and the function of that substance is to avoid the friction, that is lubrication. Simply the mucus secreting cells are situated in the form of gland, and they opens into the lumen of this esophagus in order to prevent friction between food material and the lining of alimentary canal. Then below the lamina propria, the third portion of this mucosa region is nothing but muscularis mucosa. Now, the name itself indicates muscularis mucosa is nothing but a layer of smooth muscle. Here, two types of muscles are present, that is inner circular and outer longitudinal. Now, we know the smooth muscles having their own function in visceral organ and in alimentary canal, in particularly esophagus. The diameter of that tubular structure is somewhat increasing or decreasing along with the swallowing action. When we engulf any food material, at that time the diameter of this esophagus increases and food material is actively swallowed. Okay. Now this movement takes place by the muscle layer. In first mucosa, there is muscularis. Mucosa consists of inner circular and outer longitudinal. Here, the smooth muscles are arranged in circular manner, which are followed by longitudinal muscles. Their arrangement is in circular and longitudinal direction, therefore the names are given. Now, what is the function of this muscle? This muscle provides the peristaltic movement by which the esophagus shows contraction and relaxation. For this mucosa part, we know the all structures like glands are situated in lamina propria and connective tissue. By the contraction and relaxation of these muscles, the gland release their secretion inside the lumen of this esophagus. Now, this is about the first part, that is mucosa. This is the first layer in histological structure of esophagus. Now, come to the next point, that is second structure. Here, submucosa. Now, as it is present below the mucosa, therefore the name is given as submucosa. If you look at the diagram, we are able to see same structure which is seen in lamina propria. This submucosa part consists of the connective tissue and the distribution of glands in between them. Also, the glands are present with the ducts. They release their secretion through the vessels or channels which are opening at lumen. Their ducts crossing this muscle layer, then connective tissue and opens into the lumen. Here, this region consists of somewhat loosely arranged connective tissue, either areolar or reticular. Now, if you look at the glands which are situated are esophageal gland. Okay, these esophageal glands having similar function like cardiac glands to release the sticky substance for avoid the friction between food material and lining of alimentary canal. Now, if you look at the structure of this submucosa, this loosely arranged connective tissue provides support to the structure which are situated above it. Here, lamina propria and epithelium, which is the part of mucosa, they are rest on this submucosal region. Here, large number of blood vessels, the nerve fibers are present which show their distribution in the form of plexus. Blood plexus is there, then nerve plexus is there, which are spread their capillaries in both layers, above and below. Now, below the submucosa, the third region comes, that is muscularis, or it is called muscularis externa. Here, muscularis externa, because in lamina propria we have seen there is the muscularis mucosa. Okay, this is the second muscle part in historical structure of alimentary canal, that is muscularis externa. It is present at outer region. Okay, now this muscularis externa having main role in peristaltic movement, that is alternative contraction and relaxation takes place with the help of this external muscularis externa layer. If we look at the structure of this muscularis externa, we are able to see two kind of muscle, that is circular smooth muscle and striated smooth muscle, below which there is a network of nerve fiber called Auerbach plexus. This is the peculiarity of this layer, that is nerve fiber network called Auerbach plexus. Plexus means small capillary network which is spread in different cells or tissue. Here, the circular muscles are two types, smooth and striated. These smooth and striated muscles are for better expansion of that part. We know during swallowing action the diameter is increases and it is somewhat rigid, or we can say the complex as compared to the intestinal part, because in intestine food material is processed or semi-digested, but here the raw kind of food material is there, therefore the compactness of this part of alimentary canal is depending upon the muscle arrangement in this muscularis externa. Here circular smooth muscle are there, below which there is a layer of striated muscle, and in between then there is network of nerve fiber, that is Auerbach plexus. Below the Auerbach plexus there is again second muscle layer in the form of longitudinal smooth muscle and longitudinal striated muscle. Means here muscles are in the form of smooth muscle, but they are of two types, that is inner circular and outer longitudinal, and they are again show their distribution in two layers. That is, first one inner smooth and outer striated. Like this, the arrangement of muscle layer is there for better peristaltic movement and expansion of that part of alimentary canal. Now, the last part, that is outermost covering, here the one concept comes, that is structure of adventitia, serosa and peritoneum. Many times we heard the name peritoneum, and in especially case of alimentary canal, people refer the name serosa. Let us know what is the difference between adventitia, serosa and peritoneum. Peritoneum is nothing but the simply outermost covering made up of smooth connective tissue fiber which provide protection to the any visceral organ. That is peritoneum, a bag-like structure in which these organs are protected. Now, in case of alimentary canal, this peritoneum is somewhat modified. After the end of muscularis externa of this muscle layer, the fibers, smooth muscle fiber, are arranged either loosely or tightly. Now, in case of esophagus, this layer is formed by areolar tissue, and this part is connected with surrounding tissue. Therefore, here two names are terms, that is adventitia and serosa. Now, in adventitia, the layer of areolar connective tissue is discontinued. There is no peritoneum. When peritoneum is absent in any structure of alimentary canal, at that time the structure outermost layer is referred as adventitia, where peritoneum is absent, and that areolar connective tissue or fibrous tissue are discontinued. And in case of serosa, the peritoneum is present. These muscles, this layer of connective tissue which are present below the muscle layer, are covered by peritoneum. Therefore, the name is given as serosa. This is the difference between adventitia and serosa, in which presence or absence of peritoneum does matter. Now, in case of esophagus, we are able to see both adventitia and serosa. Why the structure is there? Because here, in case of esophagus, below the diaphragm, peritoneum is present. Therefore, the name is given as serosa. But above the diaphragm, there is absence of this peritoneum layer. Right? Here, you can say the no peritoneum. Therefore, the name is given as adventitia. Like this, the structure of outermost layer in histology of esophagus, there is presence of both adventitia and serosa. This is the histological structure of esophagus, in which we have seen mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and adventitia and serosa. In remaining upcoming parts of alimentary canal, they either consist of adventitia or serosa. Most of the time, serosa is present, but only the esophagus is structure where both of them are present, that is adventitia and serosa. Adventitia is present, the region of esophagus above the diaphragm, and serosa is present, the region of esophagus which is present below the diaphragm. Like this, this is the histological structure of esophagus. Now, while we are studying the history of alimentary canal, there are a lot of confusing parts, because the structure are same, many names are same, but there are some key factors which we have to remember how to differentiate between the histological structure of alimentary canal. We can study by the comparative manner, and therefore we can summarize this part into the peculiarities of histological structure. If you look at the esophagus, we can make some points which can be the differentiating between the histological structure of esophagus and rest of the structures of alimentary canal. That is peculiarities of esophagus. What are peculiarities? Let's see one by one. In mucosa, we have seen there is presence of stratified epithelium. This structure is particularly found in esophagus, that is presence of stratified epithelium is present, and the cells are arranged in several layers. There is more than 2 to 3 layers are present. Then in lamina propria region, the glands. In esophagus, the glands which are present that are cardiac glands. In lamina propria of next tissue, that is duodenum, rectum or ileum, the glands are different. They are known by different names. But in case of esophagus, the glands of lamina propria are called as cardiac glands, which secrete the sticky substance which avoid the friction between food material and lining of alimentary canal. Then we have seen the second structure, that is submucosa. In submucosa, there is presence of esophageal gland. These esophageal glands are present inside the connective tissue part of this esophagus. It is present with ducts, number of ducts which are opening into the lumen of esophagus. They are crossing the lamina propria, the epithelium, and finally opens into the lumen of esophagus. Then we have seen the structure, that is muscularis externa or muscularis. Here, the inner circular and outer longitudinal muscles are present. This structure or this arrangement is same in next upcoming organ of alimentary canal. But here, the arrangement of smooth muscles is of two types. That is, smooth muscles are of two types, inner circular and outer longitudinal, in which both smooth as well as striated, which are arranged in circular and longitudinal manner. This is the peculiarity of muscle layer in esophagus. The smooth muscles which are arranged in circular and longitudinal manner, they are of two types, smooth and striated. First layer is in the form of smooth and second layer is in the form of striated muscle. This arrangement is particularly found in esophagus. Then we have seen the last structure, that is presence of adventitia and serosa. Only in esophagus, as I have told you, only in esophagus both structures we are able to see, that is adventitia, which is present above the diaphragm, and next one is serosa, which is situated below the diaphragm. Okay, like this, the four structure, mucosa, submucosa, musculus externa, and adventitia and serosa, are arranged in PS of esophagus. Okay, this is all about esophagus. I hope you have understood the session. In next upcoming lecture, we will continue with remaining structure of alimentary canal. Okay, thank you.